Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Cool. OK. Welcome to our session. Today, we're going to talk about how commerce platforms and Facebook can work together and partner together to really enable businesses to be successful on our platform. My name is Abha, and I lead our product partnerships team here on vertical programs. I'm also going to be joined by Zain Aziz later, who is a solutions engineer on our team. All right, so let's talk about trends a little bit. It should be no surprise to this room that e-commerce is on the rise and gaining share. And this isn't really a momentous blip. It is an emerging trend and poised to grow and stay. In fact, eMarketers suggest that e-commerce sales are growing up by almost 1% every year. And by 2020, 13% of all retail sales will be e-commerce. So that's great news for this room because you are all in the e-commerce business. But at the same time, this is a very challenging, a very competitive, and an evolving space, which means if you're an e-retailer, you really have to rise up to this challenge. And in order to be relevant and grow, you really have to think about a mobile-first strategy, a mobile-first targeted strategy. And why do I say mobile-first? Because if you think about it, our devices today have become the new storefront. Mobile storefront is available 24 hours a day. And no matter where the final purchase happens today, online or offline, you can say with a fair amount of certainty that the product discovery probably happened on mobile. And this is really where, in fact, research today suggests that an average person today opens up their phone about 80 times a day. And if you're a business, this is 80 opportunities for you to connect with your consumers in a meaningful way. Sounds great. Not as easy as we think, though. Because if you really look at a consumer journey today, it's extremely complex. In the pre-digital era, this consumer journey was fairly linear. But today, it actually is a very, very complex flow. It can range from impulse buys to back and forth across multiple apps, devices, websites, ultimately leading to a purchase. And this is really where it becomes very, very important for a marketer to be able to be present in a meaningful way at all those touch points, and really think about how can you deliver personalized marketing at scale. And this is where we believe mobile and Facebook can really come together to help you in these areas. So partnership with Facebook gives you access to tools and solutions that are embedded in our platform to really build a strong mobile presence that will enable your clients to drive growth and incremental acquisition. So let's start with some of our solutions. Facebook pages and Instagram business profile allow businesses to build a valuable presence on Facebook and really have that discovery surface on Facebook. Our messaging solutions across WhatsApp, Messenger, and Instagram Direct allow businesses to really communicate directly with their consumers and translate some of that intent into real action. And then products such as Facebook Marketplace and Instagram Shopping allow businesses to take their consumers from product discovery to real actual sales and conversions on our platform. And it's a bunch of clicks. So in addition to the business tools, we also have a host of friction-free end-to-end advertising solutions that are built to drive action online and offline. And furthermore, what's great about our formats is that they work across a slew of business objectives, all the way from awareness and discovery to actual conversions and actual sales. And what makes our platform particularly unique is we have a unique ability to bring together brand and DR, direct response advertising together, which makes the platform incredibly valuable. If you look at our ad formats today, they're extremely immersive, engaging, and interactive. But at the same time, not only do they look great, at the same time, they are able to produce results. In fact, our research suggests that 1 in 3 people reported having purchased an item from a local business based on an ad that they saw on Facebook last holiday season. And 75% of Instagrammers today take action based after being inspired by a post on Instagram. And this is also a bunch of clicks. So I talked a little bit about the solutions that we have today, and how can partners such as you guys here really enable merchants on these solutions. So there are a host of different ways you can interact with our platform. You can build directly to the API. This is an example where you would put your development resources and build towards our APIs. The great news here is you can have full UX control and the ability to innovate on your platform by integrating with our APIs, but it also means there's development cost involved. You could engage a third-party developer, which means you white label your solution. This would mean the cost that you would have with engaging a third party, and you could have, I would say, a moderate ability to really influence what the UX and the field looks like based on how flexible the partner or the third party that you're working with is. And then the last option is you can work with Facebook Business Extension. This is Facebook own interface. It is our own plugin that you can embed in your own interfaces. This obviously comes at no to minimal cost because we're essentially doing all the development and you're just embedding the plugin in your platforms. It does mean that you don't have the kind of UX control that you would have if you were to build to the API directly. So today, I'm going to just share a little bit more about the Facebook Business Extension, and then Zain's going to go through how you could connect with our APIs directly. All right, so when you look at the Facebook Business Extension, what it really allows you as platforms, if you integrate with FBE, Facebook Business Extension, you can really extend the power of our platform to all the merchants who are on your platform. All the great solutions that I talked about can be accessed through or made frictionless through the Facebook Business Extension. So let's unbundle the Facebook Business Extension a little bit. What is really coming with this extension today? So in a matter of few clicks, your businesses, or rather merchants on your platform, can install the Facebook Pixel on their property pages. Facebook Pixel, why is Facebook Pixel important? It allows your merchants to reach new people, new customers on Facebook. It allows them to build relevant ads, which means they can optimize their ads to people who are most likely to buy their products. And lastly, they can actually measure the impact of their advertising across Facebook and our family of apps. They can connect their product catalog with Facebook, which means they can actually run ads such as dynamic ads and really take their advertising at scale. All of our catalog-based ads are now powered with the catalog underneath it. It also means all the organic commerce efforts, which are powered by a product catalog, they actually now have access to it. They can embed the Messenger customer chat plugin on their website. All of this is available today. And we are obviously building a robust roadmap on Facebook Business Extension. So we expect Instagram shopping and in future a lightweight ads interface to also be part of Facebook Business Extension. So I'm going to do a quick demo of what this actually looks like today. So this is the UI that your business on your platform would actually see today with Facebook Business Extension. They can choose a Facebook page that represents their business on Facebook. Once they choose a page, they can then automatically install the Facebook Pixel code on every page of their website. This is actually syncing their product catalogs to Facebook. And in just a few clicks, the setup is complete. You have the Pixel installed. Your catalog is now synced, and you are ready to access the power of our platform, both advertising and organic, across the Facebook family of apps. This is the customer chat plugin that lets the businesses to start having conversations with their customers directly on their website. And that's the Messenger chat that has now been added. This is showing how they can tag their photos and Instagram stories with details of the product once the product catalog is synced. This is still being built, but you can see here that in just a matter of few clicks, the power of our platform can be extended to businesses who are working with your platform. So that was a little bit about Facebook Business Extension. I'm going to invite Zain Aziz, who is now going to talk about how you can build directly to our APIs and extend the same capabilities to your businesses.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Zain Aziz, and I'm a solutions engineer at Facebook. Earlier in the presentation, Ava gave you a really great high-level overview of the commerce landscape. And she introduced you to Facebook Business Extension. What I'm going to do for the remaining of the presentation is talk about what is the ideal merchant onboarding experience and how you can build it on the APIs. So let's get started. Here's the universe of Facebook products that a merchant can be onboarded onto by a platform partner. This includes a business manager, a page, which is their primary identity. It includes a product catalog that tells Facebook what products a particular merchant is selling. It includes setting up an ad account, which is where they run their ads, dynamic product ads, retargeting ads, and so on and so forth. It also includes platform partners installing pixels onto the merchant's website. All these pixels are very helpful in helping make the ads more performant, as well as giving really valuable insights to merchants about what kinds of customers are visiting their websites. Lastly, we have a whole suite of commerce offerings, including paid shop, marketplace, and IG shopping. Platform partners can also help merchants enable customer service scenarios through Messenger. Here are all the Facebook assets, which can be broadly divided into these categories. The first category is identity, which includes user, page, business, and access tokens. These allow the merchant and the platform partner to have a persistent identity of the merchant onto our platforms. Next is assets, which includes product catalogs and custom audiences. This allows Facebook to be able to know what the merchant is selling, as well as know exactly who the merchant wants to sell to. On the advertising front, platform partner can help the merchant get set up with an ad account, create campaigns, ad sets, ads, and all those assets for them. On the signals front, a platform partner can help them get set up with a pixel, server-to-server integration, and offline conversions. On the commerce front, we have a huge suite of offerings as well that are super valuable for merchants. A platform partner can help get them set up on a paid shop, marketplace, IG shop, enable organic product tagging, as well as IG shopping linking out to offsite websites, and IG native checkout as it starts rolling out to more and more merchants. So when we talk about the ideal merchant onboarding experience, there are two distinct scenarios that I want to talk about for ads, and then we'll build up onto commerce moving forward. So the first distinct scenario is single user merchant. So this is a single user merchant is essentially a business that runs the entire business by themselves. You can think of this as a small mom and pop shop. These are folks that go onto the platform partner and fully represent the business. For those kinds of single user merchants, a platform partner can use the user's access token, create an ad account, set up a page, pixel, product catalog, and continue to use that user's access as a mechanism of managing their experience, their commerce and ads experience. A single user merchant experience is mostly applicable only for ads. If you want to do commerce, Facebook requires that each merchant have a business manager, because Facebook only supports commerce for businesses and not individuals. In the multi-user merchant scenario, a platform partner has to create a business manager, create all the assets under that business manager, and then create a system user access token, which they can then use to programmatically access all the assets. The multi-user merchant scenario is more applicable to more sophisticated or advanced merchants that have more than just one employee. They have employees that keep churning on, going in and out of the merchant. And also these are merchants that are interested in also doing commerce. So let's dive deeper into what are the steps involved in creating a single user merchant setup. So if a platform partner, the first thing that a platform partner has to do is they have to embed Facebook login inside their user interface. When a user goes and clicks on the Facebook login button, it launches a dialog and gives the platform partner the user's access token. They use this user's access token to set up an ad account, page, pixel, and product catalog. They then create the user access token into a page access token, and they use this page access token to essentially upload products feeds on on-demand basis, so that the user can continue on running ads. let's look at the multi-user scenario. In the multi-user scenario, the platform partner embeds a Facebook login. The user clicks on the Facebook login button. The partner gets an access token. They use that to create a business manager, create any of the assets like page, product catalog, ad account, and pixel. If any one of those assets already exist, you can actually call an API to just move those assets over into the business manager. Once that is done, you then establish a relationship with the merchant's business manager by sharing your app and creating a system user such that you can actually use that system users to programmatically manage access from that point onwards. Now that we've talked about ads, I also want to shed some light on commerce. So in order for you to be able to do commerce, there are certain requirements that are sort of unique to commerce. Firstly, Facebook only does commerce only allows merchants who have a business manager to be able to do commerce. So business manager is a required asset over here. The second asset that's required is page, and then product catalogs, of course. And then you need to set up a commerce merchant settings object, which ties together the product and the business manager together. You then need to make sure that the merchant has provided a payment method and accepted the terms of service before you can actually request the marketplace. So let's dive deeper onto exactly what is the flow of how you go about setting this up. So the first thing that a merchant needs to do is give their access token, use that access token to select a page to convert into a page shop. Once you convert that page into a page shop, you upload a bunch of products to the page, and then you essentially ask the merchant to provide a bunch of retailer information, including business details, shipping information, support info, and such. Once that is done, you finish creating the page shop, and you make a request for that page shop to be converted into an IG or a marketplace page shop. So what are some of the similarities and differences between ads and commerce? Let's dive a little bit deeper into it asset by asset, right? Business Manager, for instance, is optional on ads. You can still get away with running ads on for a merchant without requiring them to have a business manager. For commerce, however, a business manager is a required asset. You need to have a business manager, without which you actually cannot do any ads. Product catalog is required for both ads as well as commerce. A pixel is required for ads, and is sort of not really applicable to commerce unless you are thinking of creating your product catalogs out of pixel data. In that scenario, it is somewhat related to commerce as well. Custom audiences are super useful for ads, but not really applicable to commerce integrations like IG, marketplace, or page shop. Product inventory, this is a really interesting one. While it is optional to keep this updated for ads, for commerce, it is actually a requirement to keep this updated at all times. You never want to be in a situation where Facebook tries to sell a product which you don't have anymore. So the product inventory has to always be updated. And then lastly, page is required for both. So if we actually extrapolate from all that we have learned between ads and commerce, we come to this ultimate ideal setup for how to set up a merchant such that they can very seamlessly actually frictionlessly do ads and commerce seamlessly. In this setup, a partner uses their app to fetch an access token. They use that access token to create a business manager, share all the assets in that, and then in order to enable commerce, they set up a commerce merchant settings object, which connects together their product catalog and their business, and then they can be used for creating a page shop, marketplace shop, IG shop, and so on and so forth. So this is the ideal setup for what we recommend that platform partners set up our merchants by. What are some of the recommendations and nuances of this setup? So first and foremost, we want all of these assets to be owned by the business manager. The reason for that is because business manager is a very persistent identity of that merchant. So users can come and go, but a business manager will continue to exist to represent that business. We want them to always create a business manager for even new merchants that they're onboarding. Given that commerce is becoming more and more important, it's going to be better for a platform partner to just create a business manager for a new merchant upfront. Lastly, they should always be using a system user under the merchant's business manager to programmatically access the assets. Using a page access token is very brittle, and I'll talk more about why exactly in the next slides. So why exactly do we recommend you should create a business manager for all your merchants? It's because commerce requires it, and as commerce continues to become more and more important, and merchants start coming to your platform and Facebook, not only for ads, but also commerce, you want to make sure that you set them up for success and they can grow gradually as they want to start doing more and more on Facebook. Business manager is really required for business integrity reasons as well. It allows us and you and us both to have a persistent identity. It also, if all your assets are owned under a business manager, your employees can come and go, but you can also share your assets out to other agencies and partners so that you can sort of put some of the ad buying activity or other activity off to other partners. So now that we talked about the foundational piece of Business Manager, let's talk about the next foundational piece when it comes to ads and commerce for e-commerce merchants. Product catalog is a central pillar, right? Without product catalog, Facebook will not know what exactly is it that the merchant is selling. When it comes to product catalog, our recommendation here is to always create a single unified product catalog. We've seen a lot of platform partners create product catalogs in a global business manager that they own, or a business manager that they don't have access to, or create product catalogs on the page level. Those are all not ideal because you want to create the product catalog, one product catalog under the business manager, which is used for both ads as well as commerce. In order for your product catalog or products to work for both ads and commerce, you need to include certain fields. When you include those certain fields, they are automatically eligible for IG Shop, Marketplace, and all those things. You can figure that out by using the capabilities APIs, which can tell you for a particular product catalog whether that product is eligible for IG ads and other capabilities. Last but not the least, if you're creating a product catalog and you're using this for commerce, you have to make sure that the product inventory is kept up to date. That is a very central requirement. So there are actually two different ways that you can keep the product catalogs up to date. The first is push, and the second pull, and the second is pull. In the pull mechanism, what you actually do is you specify a URL to Facebook, and Facebook pulls the product catalog data from that location. When it comes to push, push is actually, you use a user's access token to actually make an API call to explicitly upload the product catalogs to Facebook. Both have their pros and cons. Pull is much easier to implement. However, it is not as secure as push is. Push is definitely a little bit harder to implement because you have to make sure that a merchant has given you an access token, and that access token is up to date, long-lived, and so on and so forth. However, push allows you to keep your product catalogs up to date, and it is the most on-demand and can keep the product catalog updated the most. So once you've created a business manager, product catalog, all of these assets, how do you get access to these assets that you've created on behalf of the merchant? The way you do that is you have two options. We've already talked about a little bit about the page access token. The other way to get access to these assets is via a system user. So let's talk through what are some of the pros and cons of both approaches. So using a page access token to get access to their assets is definitely an easier development lift. You don't have to do much investment there. However, keep in mind that a page access token is tied to a user. So if a user goes and gets demoted or is no longer does not have access to the page, you will no longer be able to use their page access token at that point. This can make a commerce integration quite brittle, which is why we recommend that you instead use the system user access token instead. This is a much more persistent way of getting access to their assets. The system user's access token is long-lived, it does not expire, And however, the only thing to keep in mind is you need to have a business manager for that. So our recommendation is that you always use a system user under a business manager to get access to those assets. This will make sure that your system is built in a more resilient way. Last but not the least, I also want to talk about a few other recommendations for our commerce partners that are really going to help them up for success. The first is that every time installing the pixel, as Ava pointed out as well, is a very important thing that you can do for a merchant. But when you do that, it is really important that you actually add the right sorts of events to help their dynamic ads and retargeting campaigns work better. You need to include add to cart, you need to include purchase events, and you need to pass in the right data in there to make sure that those pixel events are very help your merchant. The other thing that you also need to think about is we recently launched a product called Advanced Matching, which increases the match rates of your pixels. So it has two modes. It has automatic advanced matching, and it also has manual advanced matching. By using automatic advanced matching, you can actually ensure that you are protected against any third party blocking your cookies. And by using manual advanced matching, if you explicitly pass in PII, you can actually get a much higher match rate for your customers. And higher match rate, we know, leads to higher ROS. The next thing that you should always think about doing is adding an agent string to the pixel that you install on behalf of your customer. The pixel agent string allows Facebook to be able to identify which pixel belongs to which platform partners. And it helps us attribute the revenue back to you. Lastly, for those partners that have actually built ads buying interfaces within their platform's UI, what we recommend is that in order for when you're at the step of creating the ad account, we recommend that you also implement or use our ads payment JavaScript dialog, which allows the merchant to stay within your UI and specify a credit card without going over into Facebook's native interfaces to add a credit card. This, by anecdotally talking to a lot of partners, leads to about 30% friction rate, which can go away because the merchant stays on your platform and does not have to leave your platform to go add a credit card. Lastly, you should always be thinking about creating custom audiences for your merchants. Custom audiences are super valuable. You can create lookalike audiences from that. You can also do retargeting, so on and so forth. And we've seen a lot of success with platform partners who are building, who basically cater to the extremely long tail advertisers. We've seen a lot of success with those partners actually building ads buying interfaces and things like dynamic ads with a few clicks is super helpful and super powerful. So with that, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you found this very useful.